Hello, hello, hello. Bonjour, mes amis. That's French. First, my apologies for the lighting. As you saw from the thumbnail, I sold my house, so I basically just have one light left here. And again, also, if you are extremely good at GeoGuessr and you can dox me from that thumbnail, well, please go ahead because I will not be here after tomorrow. So that's where we're at right now. Yes, I did sell my house. But before we get into that, I do want to address why I am going live right now as opposed to recording a video. So I need to share a screen with you from YouTube, from my YouTube analytics, and share screen right here. Okay. And I think that's the one that we want to look at. Share screen. We did drop below 1,600 subscribers again. So if someone can please click that subscribe button, or if two of you can click the subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated. We do need to get up over 1,600 again. Actually, we would like to get to 2,000 someday. Hey, we'll see. You never know. Okay, we're going to jump into the analytics here. And I decided to live right now. Okay, the internet's going to be slow, of course. Come on now, hurry up. Let's go. Why? Okay, and now we need to click on revenue. I don't know if I want to do that yet. Okay, there it is. So revenue. And you see YouTube analytics so much better when it comes to monetization. I had a good day. I have no idea why I made 50 cents on YouTube on Saturday, December 6th. I did not upload anything new. There was none there. The next day, I uploaded a 4 cents. Shorts don't make very much money, though. But the reason, so videos right now are paying 54 per 1,000 views. Shorts are paying 37 cents per 1,000 views, which isn't too bad, to be honest, for the shorts. But look at the live, 23.50. So if we could actually find 1,000 people, and if we could get 1,000 people into this room, I could actually make $23. Now, obviously, I know that's not going to happen. And I'm also curious if YouTube considers like after the live stream ends, does YouTube consider that a video, or do they still consider it a live stream? Now, obviously, most people do not click on a live stream after it has ended. However, there obviously are always a few stragglers who will click on. You'll get 2 or 3 or 10 clicks or whatever. And so I am very curious if YouTube pays me the $23.50 per 1,000, or if they pay me the, what was it, per video, $5.54. That's a significant difference, right? $5.54 compared to $23.50. So I honestly have no idea. And I'm kind of using this live stream as a bit of a, what do you call it? Testing stage, a bit of a, we'll see how it goes. You can see here my ongoing December, I made 87 cents. November, I made 97 cents. October, $1.20. September, $16. Now in September, I had a very good live stream, had over 5,000, close to 6,000 views. And so that one did make, basically my entire year on YouTube right there. Obviously not Mr. Beast money. Obviously not Mr. Beast money, but we do what we do and we're trying, so we'll just keep going. All right, we are going to talk why I sold my house. My house, the closing date is this coming Thursday. So right now it is 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard. on December 16th, Tuesday. It is Tuesday today, right? Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday, December 16th, and the closing date is Thursday, December 18th. So I am going to talk about why I sold my house and basically, oh, where do I begin with that story? Well, as most of you know, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I quit my job because I was very much not happy with it. I do have beer here too. This is going to be a beer live stream, so just bear with me as I take a sip. So yeah, over a year ago, I quit the job that I was very much not happy with. And it was honestly not a bad company. I have nothing bad to say about the company itself. The biggest problem was, I'm sure you've all seen or heard or saw, like, this meeting could have been an email. Yeah, that was the biggest problem with that company, is that meetings would be called, and no meeting should never needs to last more than 30 to 40 minutes, right? Like, you can discuss everything in a meeting from 30 to 40 minutes. And the people in that meeting purposely, purposely tried to extend those meetings into an hour and a half, 2-hour meetings. And it just, like, I was so fed up with that, I guess, corporate lifestyle of, they were literally trying to make those meetings longer, I guess, just to waste time to, like, get through to the end of the day. And it's just like, my God, was that a beer pill? Uh, oh yeah, that was a pill. Yes, definitely. If you're from Saskatchewan, which I love Saskatchewan, where's the camera? Definitely Pilsner right there. Thank you all so much. um, what was I saying? Yeah, the company, again, I have nothing bad to say about the company itself. The people, especially the owner of the company, great guy, loved him to death. I could still, his son worked there as well, and I could still text them to this day and have, like, a very civilized conversation with them. But the meetings were just so horrendous. You would get, like, through an hour of a meeting, and after 40 minutes, the meeting's done. After 30 to 40 minutes, the meeting is done. It's done. There's nothing more to discuss. But the problem with these people is that they would then kind of return return to the top of the meeting and then, like, rehash everything that had already been talked the first 40 minutes. It literally in just an effort to extend longer. And I was just I couldn't keep taking that. It was literally, it was killing me. It was just absolutely killing me. It was brutal. It was so brutal. Like, this meeting could have been an email. And yeah, so as most of you know, a year ago, I began a company called Love's Logistics. And through that previous work, I did have a lot of contacts within the logistics community, within the logistics field, of basically, how do you move things, anything from point A to point B? How do you get a skid of broccoli? How do you get a skid full of potatoes? How do you get a skid full of ice cream? How do you get a skid full of, cardboard boxes from point A to point B? And so I went into my new venture quite confident, as I should have been. I had no reason not to be confident. Now, my biggest problem, what became my biggest problem, was the truck that I bought. The truck that I bought basically was a piece of a POS, piece of, yeah, you know what I'm about to say. And so I just poured way too much money into trying to get that truck on the road and keeping that truck on the road. That was my teen worker. Nurse, put us on the pill and count the rabbits. All right. Robert Dixon, 2393. Are you from Saskatchewan? I just got to know. Are you from Saskatchewan? I literally, I'm not in Saskatchewan right now. I've been to Saskatchewan many times. Love Saskatchewan. It's a beautiful place. People think of Saskatchewan as just like this flat province that's just prairies and wheat fields, but so much more to it than that. And yeah, I've recently been buying Pilsner here, quite a bit more, simply because it's one of the less expensive beers at the LCBO. I'm in Ontario currently, and yeah, so that's why I've been on the pill. But getting back to sort of the whole story of the last year, the last year has just been, whew, yeah, it's been a lot. Obviously, it's been a lot. I have made a fair bit of money with my logistics company, but everything that I've made in logistics has been basically on the courier side. And when I say the courier side, it's like 10, 20, 30 pound boxes. Actually, I had a couple that were like more heavier than that, like 55-pound boxes, say 25 kilograms. Okay, Robert, what's he saying? I know, just got sat there in the winter. Oh, so if you've been into Saskatchewan in the winter, well, you've had some fun times. Okay, so what was I saying about the logistics? I've made some really good money on the courier side where I've got some really good clients that will pay me literally ridiculous amounts of money to drive to, say, Toronto Pearson International Airport, pick up a box for them and drive it, say 2 or 3 hours away. And yeah, they've been paying me like 95 cents per kilometer and not complaining about it. Like basically being extremely thankful to to pay that amount. And I'm just like, whoa. Now, even though obviously I get stuck in traffic in Toronto, but I do obviously make up for that when I get out of the city, flying down the 401 at 130 kilometers an hour. It's like, wow, I'm doing quite well right now. And I'm at 95 cents a kilometer and I'm going that fast, right? So on the courier side, the business has been doing extremely well, to be quite honest. It's been doing very well. And earlier in the year, I did have a contract with hospitals. Now I gave that up because honestly, I was driving way too many kilometers per day simply for not nearly enough money. I was driving close to 700 kilometers per day for about $250, and it was like the math not math thing. I tried to raise the prices on them, and they had to do with that. And it was like, honestly, it was kind of ridiculous because they could afford that. They could afford the more fair market value of the raised prices. But okay, whatever. So losing that contract, obviously it did sting a little, but at the same time, it saved my mental health and it saved my vehicles from driving, like I said, 700 kilometers a day for not nearly enough money. My hair's sticking up. So yeah, that's sort of where we're getting to with why I sold my house as of right now, is that the business has not been as profitable as I had hoped. And I mean, you go into any venture, you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, things can go wrong, and some things did go wrong. Things can go right, and yes, some things did go right as well. Okay, another beer break. This is going to be a 110% a beer episode. I'm being raw with you guys. Everything's going to be totally honest, 100% honest. That's good beer. So yeah, so basically it got to the point where I became over leveraged in debt. And I was like, okay, well, I've maxed out credit cards. I've sold off way too many stocks. I don't have the dividend profile that I once had. I no longer have basically anything. Any of my crypto assets were gone. Everything had been eaten up, chewed away. And so I was like, well, phew, what do I do now? It's like, well, the only thing, well, not the only thing I could do, but it's kind of like the smartest thing I can do at this point is sell the house and pay off all of the debt that I've accumulated, right? So basically, on Thursday, I will be able to eliminate all debt. And that's obviously a good thing, right? Just get rid of all the debt. Everybody that you owe money to Uncle Tom and Bob and Joe and Jim and actually literally Jim, the name of one of my mechanics, Jim's Auto. So basically, like, just pay off every little bit of debt that you have and go forward from there and see what happens. Now, with that said, that white truck that I bought, that was honestly, it was the sort of the crux of everything that has gone wrong in this past year because I've literally probably made 3 deliveries with it. That truck has earned me probably about $1,500 in revenue, and obviously has payments and insurance and everything else has cost me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So it was just what you would call a BBD, a bad business. Unfortunately, at the time, I did not know that. At the time, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get this truck. I've got all these clients lined up. All these clients trust me. All these clients are very willing to give me their business. All these clients, like literally, if that truck had been roadworthy, I would have easily been making 500 to 1,000 to $1,500 every single day on the road, easily, easily, easily. Like 5, 6, 7 days a week, 1,000 to $1,500, which would have obviously paid all the bills, right? Needless to say, that did not pan out. So that's where we're at now, which is why we've come to the point where we're now, yeah, we're just selling the house, getting as much capital as we can gathered up to pay off all the debt, pay off that white truck. Possibly it's literally at a mechanics right now. And it's actually also doubling as my storage unit almost my entire life. All the furniture in my house is fit onto the back of that truck. There's no couches left in this, like couches, chairs, tables, everything is on that truck. And like literally almost everything that I own is on that truck. So save a few things, obviously like the laptop that I'm on right now and a few other things, but the majority of my life basically fit into a 26-foot box truck. And so it's literally out of mechanics right now. And I told him, I said, like, wait, hold up. I was like, just leave it, leave it, leave it. I was like, it's December right now. Wait until the new year. There's no hurry on this. So as of this point, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think I should do. Like, should I get that truck fixed and continue making a go of the business, which I know I can? Or do I just like focus my energy elsewhere? Do I take the money I'm going to make from the sale of my house and reinvest it back into dividend paying stocks where then it's like, okay, well, a little bit, I don't want to say completely guaranteed because you never know when a dividend is going to get cut or whatnot. At the same time, we know they're relatively safe investments. And it's like, okay, well, I could make a few $1,000s a month just on dividends if I take all of my earnings. And again, this is after I pay off all the debt because there's so much debt to pay off. I've never in my life been so over leveraged on debt that obviously it became stressful as well, right? So it became so stressful. Am I going to lose the house? Am I going to look like, are they going to repossess the truck? Like everything, obviously, everything has crossed my mind in the last 3 to 6 months. It's just like, it's been a wild ride. It's been such a wild ride. Now, with that said, too, I can still do the courier service. Now, the courier service, again, I don't need the big truck. I just need any vehicle. I can, like, they're literally, 20-pound, 25-kilogram boxes, 20, 55-pound boxes that I can pick up and drive around anywhere in any vehicle. So, and like I said, that has been extremely profitable and extremely successful. And again, going back, if if I knew what I knew now, if I knew that a year ago, I would have never bought that truck, and I would have just made it a courier service delivering these, 20, 25, 35, 45-pound boxes around, and made a boatload of money doing that. So anyways, that's where I'm at, guys. Yeah, I did hope to make this live stream a little bit longer, so hopefully I can keep talking. I even brought a second beer that I haven't even cracked yet, so that one's not even cracked yet. See that? See, it's not even cracked yet. With that said, we'll try to finish this one off and see if we can get a comment or something to keep this live stream going. All right, Robert Dixon. I own EIT.UH, HBOI, RBN.UN, MID.UN, PME, MMP.UN, and CCRSI, plus many more. I used to own EIT, but again, like I said, I sold off so many of those stocks. And quite honestly, I'm not familiar with some of those other ticker symbols. Yeah, EIT, that's Canoe, right? Canoe, that's a great read. I do love that one, and once I get the funds, I will probably buy back that one. I have no idea what they've done in the last year. It's been over a year since I've sold. Oh, there's another thing too. Of course, I've also lost some money in crypto, as probably most of us have. So yeah, that's not fun either. HBOI, RBN.UN, MID.UN. Yeah, honestly, I don't know those other ticker symbols. What else do we have to think about right now, guys? So I've been open and honest with everyone. Rockstar Management. Rockstar. Oh, are you saying EIT has Rockstar Management? Which, correct me if I'm wrong, that is Canoe, right? EIT.UN, Canoe. Yeah, we'll keep going here, guys. I do want to keep this live stream going. I don't know how long I can go on it, obviously. I'm just sort of rambling at this point, but I've been open and honest with you up to this point. I've told you sort of everything that's happened to me in the last year, all the few successes but unfortunately mostly failures of the last year. And yeah, that's literally just, you know, what life throws at you sometimes, right? Life is going to Sometime life throws you just a fastball down the middle that you can hit over the fences, and sometimes it throws you curveballs that you just cannot make with. They are mostly closed end. Again, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about these other ones, the RBN.UN, MID.UN, MMP.UN? So yeah, so that is that's where I've been over this last year, guys. It's been frustrating to say the least. You know, some of you, Sammy was living with me, one of my best friends from childhood. You know, he was in a very poor position about a year and a half, well, 2 years ago now. And I said, "Hey, come live with me. I've got rooms in my house. Come on." And then just, literally 3 months ago, I more or less had to kick him out of my house to say, You got to get out so I can sell my house, right? Uh, Roger, I owned EIT.UN over 20 years. Robert Taylor. I have no idea who Robert Taylor is. And yes. So I'm guessing yes means they're mostly closed end to the other ones, the RBN, the MID, and MMP. Again, these are tickers I'm not familiar with, which is kind of odd because I do know the majority. I like to think I know the majority of tickers, but I don't know them all. So yeah, that was also tough when Sammy. I was so happy 2 years ago when, unfortunately, in his life, he was sort of where I am now. He just had nowhere to go, and I said, "Hey, just I've got a spare room in my house. Come live with me." And I gave him a place to stay, and everything was great for nearly 2 years. And yeah, and then unfortunately, like one of my best friends of all time, right? Like we've known each other since we were little kids. I'm not even talking about like grade 8, grade 9. I'm talking about like kindergarten, grade 1. Like we've known each other since we were little tiny kids, and yeah, it was just. Whew. Oh, so Robert Taylor is the manager of Canoe. It is Canoe, right? Yes, I believe EIT.UN is Canoe. And yeah, like I said, I have not looked at that ticker in a long, long time, but I have owned it in the past, and I'm sure I would have no problem owning it again in the future once I sort of do some more due diligence to see where they're at right now. But what I know of them from their past performance, I'm sure there would be very little problem with me, putting money back into them again. And that's just again not financial, as I'm sure everyone knows. All right, thanks for joining the live stream, guys. Truly appreciate you being here. We're gonna keep going here, I guess, as long as we can. We'll see. Okay, that's a dead soldier. And I do have another full beer here. I think when I get through this other full beer, we'll probably end it then. But like I said, full beer's got a way to go. I do have to address a couple other things that's going on in society right now. Um, First, that whole incident in Australia, Bondi Beach, absolutely horrific, horrible, tragic accident, and it's such a shame. Um, And I'm not gonna try to get into the guts of like, oh, Australia banned guns 30 years ago, and now they don't have guns to defend themselves. That's that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just basically here to say, that's the type of thing that should never happen anywhere. Like, why? Why? Like, can't we all just get along? It's and obviously through social media, I do have friends in Australia that I converse with on an almost daily basis, and it's just they were shocked. We hear of, and again, I'm not trying to open a can of worms or anything, but we hear of these shootings and mass shootings in the U.S. all the time, where we barely bat an eye. But when you hear of something like that happening in Australia, and you're like, you, you just don't even know how to respond, how to comprehend. Okay, yes, I have over 80 dividends. That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. That means you're on well, if you have, you know, a lot of Canadian REITs that pay on a monthly basis, you are probably doing quite well every single month getting some cash into your investment portfolio. Yeah. And that's where I will be again one day. I promise I will be there again one day. Maybe not 80. I honestly, the actually a few that I have held on to, and I don't have very many shares left in them, but I do hope to increase those shares again. My favorites is RioCan. I think it's REI.UN, RioCan. And actually Pizza, PZA.UN. Pizza, it's not good pizza. Almost no one ever says, "Hey, let's go and get a slice of pizza." But as an investment, somehow, Pizza, PZ.UN, they pay that dividend every month, and I'm happy about it. So, yeah, here's we're talking about the Australian thing. Father-son team with a hate on for Jews. Like, honestly, I don't Jewish. I'm not Muslim. I'm just a random white guy. And okay, we're opening up this other beer here. You know, we have problems here in Canada, obviously, with all sorts of minorities, all sorts of, and again, I'm not trying to open a can of worms with immigrants or anything like that. But you've seen it in the past. You've seen in Toronto, like, you know, people blocking streets at rush hour to have prayers. You've seen in Montreal, like Jewish bakeries and whatnot getting more or less firebombed. You know, things thrown through their windows and getting lit on fire, and it's just so wrong. Like, why why can't everyone just get along? Please, just get along. Like, leave your petty retardation away from my country and away from countries like Australia and I was going to say and New Zealand. I don't think any. Well, actually, there was a few years ago in New Zealand there was something happened as well, right? Like, you would never think that things like this would happen or could happen, and they do, and it's mind-boggling. Like, just stop. Okay, back to a little stock talk here, and interlude of stock talk. Yeah, REI.UN, RERIT, PLZ.UN, HR.UN, CRR.UN. Yeah, so PLZ is Plaza. I've owned that one in the past. CRR, that one looks very familiar. I think I've possibly owned that one in the past. I can't remember exactly what CRR.UN is. HRUN also, I should know what that one is. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I can't. Maybe I've owned that one in the past too. Okay, so this is the first sip of the new beer. We'll get through this beer and then we'll probably call it a day. Now, the next topic I want to talk about, aside from stocks, is unfortunately, again, we're going back to just the sadness. You know, Rob Reiner was a great, you know, like Hollywood mind, actor, comedian, writer. I'm sure he was a producer, and then you see the post that Trump put out, and again, I agree with a lot of Trump's policies. Sort of the even though I'm Canadian, I would love Canada first policy, sort of that America first policy. Obviously, his tariffs are retarded because okay, Okay, guys. So there's some big accounts on X like that. What's his name? Gunter? Is it Gunter Eagleman and Rothmus and whatnot? And they're posting these things like, "Oh, Trump has all these tariffs have brought in like trillions of dollars of foreign money into America." No, like I'm sure they know they're rage baiting. They have to. They have to know they're rage baiting. Like they're big accounts. They're doing it for the X monetization, right? Like they have to know they're rage baiting. I'm sure they must know they're rage baiting. They have to know they're rage baiting because obviously everyone knows that not any other country in the world pays the American tariff. It's the American people that pay the American tariffs. So I'm just, it's my, I guess, prerogative, hypothesis or something that they must know that they're rage baiting and that they're doing it for the X monetization because obviously they're getting thousands of replies and tens of thousands of engagement for those types of posts. But I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. I was talking about Rob Reiner, and the comparison I wanted to make was Charlie Kirk, also very devastating. But at some point, okay, Charlie Kirk's on the right, Rob Reiner's on the left. These both these people got basically murdered, which is a very unfortunate. At some point, everyone needs to put politics aside and just, it's just at some point, where is the humanity? Just where is the humanity? Charlie Kirk did not deserve to get murdered, whether you agree with him or disagree with him. Whether you're left or right, Charlie Kirk did not deserve to get murdered. Again, same thing on the left. Rob Reiner, whether you're left or right, Rob Reiner did not deserve to get murdered. At some point, there has to just be a coming together of humanity. Forget the left, forget the right. That was the wrong way, right and left. Forget the left and right. At some point, we just need humanity. Let people live. Let people live. Let them live their lives. And, I don't care if you have a differing opinion than me. Let me voice my opinion. That's my right in a democratic, free country like Canada so far. And we'll see how much longer that lasts. But as of right now, there is free speech. And it's just heartbreaking on both sides. Like I said, the Charlie Kirk side, the Rob Reiner side. And this really magnifies everything when you can see it from both sides. Where, after the Charlie Kirk murder, there was all this outrage. There were these people posting all over social media, and then they were getting like fired because basically they were retarded saying things. And now you have Donald Trump saying things about Rob Reiner, and it's just like it's mind-boggling to me. Where has he gone? Okay, I've got more from Robert Dixon here. Thank you so much for all your comments and your support through this live stream. That war been going on for thousands of years, gave the people what they want, plenty eat, drink, and hate. I'm not even sure to there. Did I? Was that about the Jewish people? And again, I have no hate for the Jewish people. Like I said, I'm not Jewish. I'm not Muslim. I'm just a freaking random white guy on the internet, right? I think this is a similar reply. Give the people what they want, plenty to eat, drink, and hate. Yeah. Yeah, love Charlie Kirk, miss him. Yeah, like and again, I'm not advocating for the right or the left. I'm just here to say it is so wrong. So wrong on either side, from either the left or the right, to say, "Oh, it was good he got shot." Oh, it was he got shot. No, 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 no. Nobody should ever get shot, right? Like, oh yeah. I do agree with you. Charlie Kirk was one of a kind. He was one of a kind. Um, if you do go back and look at a lot of like the Charlie Kirk things, some of the greatest things that he did was actually probably about like the DEI, where he was saying, I saw some, I don't want to say so many, but saw a few clips of him saying like, okay, well, the NBA, should the NBA say, okay, we need 50% white people and 50% black people? And everybody was like, well, no, that would be retarded. Like, the NBA is what, 75% black people, because NBA, there's obviously tons of black people who are really good at basketball. It's like, and with that said, there's obviously white people at basketball too, but the majority of people in the NBA are black people. And his arguing point was like, well, should the NBA have like a DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion? And everybody, like everyone to a T, said, well, no, the best players should play. And his response was like, well, shouldn't that be the way it is with everything else in life? Like, shouldn't the best person for the job just get hired for the job, regardless of their race, color, religion, ethnic background? And it's like, yeah, that seems to track. That seems to make sense, right? So that's what I'm at with my opinion of Charlie Kirk. Good guy. I mean, unfortunate that he very unfortunate. I love All in the Family. Yeah. No way that there's no way that would be allowed today. There's just it's funny, and even to this day, if you take it in context, and if you take it in the time period that it was set in the early 70s, it's extremely funny. But there is absolutely no way that would make it to the airwaves today. Okay. Oh, well, I've definitely vented on my whole Charlie Kirk versus Rob Reiner thing. Um, and yeah, it's just sad on both sides, to be honest. Like, why? Why do you need? Why do you feel the need? I don't want to say to pick a side, but why do you feel the need to degrade the other side? I guess, like, no. At some point, you just, yeah. It comes back to the word I used earlier: humanity. Humanity. Don't worry about politics. There's humanity here, right? Like, it should be so simple, yet for some reason, this day and age, it isn't simple. Do y'all remember back? Now I'm going to age myself here again, but back in the 80s, and I've posted this so many times on X and elsewhere, that like back in the 80s, you had these news broadcasters. You had your Dan Rathers, your Peter Jennings. Here in Canada, we had Peter Mansbridge, Knowlton Nash, and on CTV, what was the guy's name? Lloyd Mansbridge. You had these guys that basically basically just read off of teleprompter, and they simply read the news of the day, the last 24 hours. Because back in the 80s, obviously, in this day and age in 2025, we have, you want to know what happened 5 minutes ago, you just go ask AI what happened 5 minutes ago, and it's going to tell you. But back in the 80s, it was the news from the past 24 hours. And you had, like I said, these guys, Dan Rather, Noel Nash, Peter Jennings, and Peter Mansbridge, that just basically gave you the news from the past 24 hours. There was no political agenda. There was no, I'm presenting this from the left wing, from the right wing, from conservative, from Republican, Democrat, whatever. They literally just said, here's what happened yesterday here's what happened in the world in the last 24 hours. And I miss that so much. I miss that so much. Please just tell me what happened in the world in the last 24 hours. Is there anything I need to know about that happened in Saudi Arabia or Pakistan or South Africa or Australia or anywhere in the world? But now, every single news clip in both Canada and the US, and I'm sure elsewhere around the world, every single news clip has a political agenda. Before you watch a news clip, you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm watching this from CNN. Okay, I'm watching this from Fox News. Okay, I'm watching this from MSNBC. And it's tiring. It's so tiring to have to think, before they tell me the news, I have to understand where it's coming from. It's coming from CBC, CT. It's coming from whatever. It's coming from even the BBC. Even the BBC, probably the most respected news organization in the entire world, the BBC. And even now in 2025, you still have to say, okay, this is coming from the BBC. So what are they really trying to tell me? What are they really trying to say? It is, yeah, just right there. Perfect. Shout out Walter Cronkite. And not only Walter Cronkite, like I said, Peter Jennings, Peter Mansbridge, Knowlton Nash, Dan Rather, those guys were, I love those guys because they had no agenda. They just literally they were the true newsmen of the era. They were just wanted to make sure you knew what the news of the day was. And there was no right wing, left wing political narrative to it. Which actually brings us to Robert's next point right here, which is the news today is a narrative. And that is so 110% true. The news today is a narrative. And it's tiring. Like I just said, it's so tiring to have to think, okay, I'm listening to this from MSNBC. I'm listening to this from CNN. I'm listening to this from Fox News. Like, why? Why can't we just have those days of the Walter Cronkites and the Knowlton Nash and Dan Rathers and Peter Mansbridge and Peter Jennings and the guys? You could tell they literally cared about news too. That was their thing. They cared about delivering the news in the most accurate way. And they did not care. They had zero interest in a narrative of left or right. They simply cared delivering the news. That's so much. I miss that so much. If we could take one thing from the 1980s, the 1970s and 1980s, well, aside from the music, I'd love to bring that music back, obviously. But if we could take one thing from the 1970s and 80s, it would be the news. It has zero narrative to it. It just had the news. Just bring back your Walter Cronkites, your Dan Rathers, your Peter Jennings, your Milton Nash, your Peter Mansbridge, all of those incredible newsmen, right? Like they were incredible people that had, zero, 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 zero investment into any agenda. There was no agenda. That was it was like purest of times. Zero agenda with news. It was a magical time. I wish we could go back, but we can't. Uh, do you remember Walter the King's 1968? Oh my God, how old do I look? So no, I do not remember 1968. I was not born yet, although I was born not too many years after that. And when you say Walter, do you remember are you referring to Walter Cronkite? Because yes, I definitely remember Walter Cronkite. And yes, I definitely remember like the Kinks. I'm sure afterwards. I don't. That's obviously a band from that era that I heard later in the 70s and 80s. But okay, okay, perfect. Okay. I'm 50. How old am I? I'm 52. So I've been around a while also. Yeah. I don't quite remember as much as you do, but I remember a lot also. I do so miss the like I said, just that era of news. And honestly, okay, so I know you guys are older. I've been watching this young lad on YouTube. His name's Dylan Page. Definitely look him up on YouTube. He's probably 25, and he deliver the news in a way that Gen Z will appreciate. Like he's got like some added, like he does whippings and things. But in my opinion, this kid is awesome because he doesn't really have any agenda to deliver the news from the left to the right. I think he's not quite at a million subscribers yet on YouTube, but he's very close to a million. Dylan Page, I believe he's a Brit, but he covers news from all over the world. Obviously, he covers a lot of U.S. politics because U.S. politics is a major part of global news. But this kid is very impressive. I'm guessing you will like him. Maybe not the extravagance of the whippings of, like to make the show, like the YouTube show, like more entertaining for Gen Z. But the fact that he actually just tells you stories of the actual news of the day. And he will also, like, he'll dive deep into news stories that CNN and NBC and CBC will simply not cover. Like there's been a lot of stories that I've seen on his channel that I was like, I would have never known about without asking. And most of his clips, like I want to say 3 times a week, about 20 minutes long. So it's not like you're not like wasting a ton of time watching his stuff on YouTube, but I highly recommend Dylan Page. He's just, like I said, he's very much into the news, and he does, in a way, not at all, but in a way, if that makes sense, he does remind me of the Dan Rathers and the Walter Cronkites of like just telling you the news. Now, he does have to do it in a much more entertaining way to capture the Gen Z audience, right? But at the same time, he's literally just telling you the news. And I find him very fast and I find him very like I find him approachable. I find him like the type of guy, you bump into him on the street, you would say, "Hey, Dylan, what's up?" Right? Like, I think that's the type of that this next generation needs is you're going to get the news, and obviously we know Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, they're not going to watch network news. They're not going to watch CNN. They're not going to watch MSNBC. They're going to watch YouTube and TikTok, right? Like that's where they're going to get their news from. And even myself at 52 years old, that's where I'm getting a lot of my news from right now is from YouTube. Like, okay, it's a song. The Kinks is my favorite. Yeah, honestly, I do not know a lot of songs by the Kinks. If any, I'm not sure if I could even name one. I could probably name every song by the Doors. I don't know. I could name a lot of songs by the Stones or the Beatles or could I name one by the Monkees? Maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, I just kind of want to like reiterate this kid, Dylan Page. I find him so fascinating because he is captivating an audience of the younger generation, right? Of this Gen Z and younger. He's captive. I'm sure he's captivating an audience of even younger than Gen Z. Like I said, the Gen Alphas, the Gen Betas, whatever you want to call them. But he is literally delivering the news without an agenda. He's just got a YouTube channel, so he's not. There's no big money behind him. There's obviously big money behind CNN or MSNBC to deliver this right wing or left wing message. He's just got a YouTube channel with like I said, with nearly 1 million subscribers. He's just telling the news of the day. Like I said, it's a little bit more over the top. He's got these things called whippings, which are kind of fun, but at the same time, it's not really part of the news. It's just a way to make it more engaging and entertaining for a younger audience. But at the same time, if he's using these things that are engaging and entertaining for a younger audience, doesn't that make it better that that younger audience is actually being educated on the news of the day, on like world news and things that are happening in places like who knows where, India, China, South Korea, Japan, right? Like, so yeah, I highly recommend checking out his channel. Not sponsored, obviously. This beer's still half full, so I'm good to go for a bit yet. Should we look at anything else today? What else has happened? What else has happened in the world today? I don't know. Hey, Robert Dixon, where are you from? I'm guessing you're Canadian as well. You've got all those Canadian REIT in your portfolio. Tell me where in Canada you are from, and I will tell you if I've been there, and I'm guessing I have been there. Yeah, I've been to so many places in Canada. Yet, yet I still have two provinces that I've never been to Prince Edward Island or Newfoundland, but I have been so everywhere in Canada, all over Ontario. I've been to so many places in Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC. I've flown over to northern Canada. Yeah. Are you still there, Robert? I want to know where you're from. Let me know. Okay, guys, what else is going on in the world today? What else is going on? Southern Gulf Islands. Oh, BC. I love BC. I absolutely love BC. I love BC. The Big Island. Well, the Big Island would be Vancouver Island. BC is, oh, I love Vancouver. I've been to Victoria. I have not spent enough time in Victoria to really give it a like a good review. I've been there enough times, but I don't know it as well as I know, like, say, Vancouver and Toronto, or even Calgary for that matter. I've been to Calgary enough times. Um, I love BC so much. I love BC so much. Vancouver is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. You've got, like, downtown is surrounded by water. You've got the mountains in the background. November in Vancouver is brutal. It's brutal. So here's the thing about Vancouver, about a lot of the Lower Mainland and the island in BC. People say, "Oh, it rains there all the time." No, it doesn't. That's such a myth. In Vancouver, from May to October, there's barely a drop of rain. The weather is absolutely perfect. It's around 25 degrees Celsius every single day from May to October. You get a few hot days that go up to, into the 30s. But that's okay because there's zero humidity, because there's a breeze off the ocean every single day. It's perfect weather, May to October. The absolute most perfect weather. 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, breeze off the ocean. Absolutely perfect. Now, with that said, I will tell you, November is brutal. You get into November in Vancouver, and Victoria, I'm sure, is very similar. You've got that November rain, and it gets darker and gloomier and rainier every single day for about 6 weeks straight. And then around mid-December, the sun comes out. And you see these beautiful snow-capped mountains behind the town of Vancouver. And it's just like, wow, wow, wow. It's so amazing. It is absolutely amazing. But to continue with the myth, then, like, through January, February, March, April, yeah, it rains in the morning, and then the sun comes out at, like, mid-morning to afternoon, and it's, like, sunny the rest of the day. So when people say it rains in Vancouver all the time, I just, like, shake my head at that. It's like, yeah, it does rain there. It's a rainforest, but, like, do you know how, like, lucky and perfect of a rainforest it is? Like, other than November, if you live in Vancouver and if you're rich, take November and, like, go to Spain or Australia or Mexico or somewhere else, right? But other than November, Vancouver is like, and I'm guessing Victoria is very similar. I haven't spent enough time there to know, but, like, just amazing, amazing. I'm a Limey, came to Canada in 1961. Limey. Does that mean you're from England? I don't know. I think so. Only rains 5 months of the year in Victoria, 85% of the annual year. I think kind of what I was just describing a bit about Vancouver, right? It's like May to October is absolutely perfect weather, just mint perfect weather. maybe you get a couple, like you get a few raindrops basically at the end of August. That like the peony is sort of the joke in Vancouver. It's like, oh, it hasn't rained in 4 months, and now it's going to rain for the peony, the Pacific National Exhibition, the last week of August, which it does almost every year. Well, but again, it's not like torrential downpours. It's literally a few drops of rain, so it's nothing. Annual rain is 38 inches. I have no idea what an inch is. I'm Canadian. I'm joking. 38 inches. So let me do quick math in my head. I don't know, 90 centimeters, give or take. 90 mil. That seems like a lot, but at the same time, does seem like a lot. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's other places in the world that has a lot more than 38 inches of annual rainfall. I don't know, like, what does the Amazon rainforest have? Like, I'm sure it's got a lot more than that, you would think. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, guys. This beer, it's not quite gone yet. It's getting to the bottom. We're about here. We're about right there on the beer. So when the beer's gone, the live stream ends. But I do appreciate you all for joining. It's been a lot of fun. It's honest, obviously it's been tons of fun. I appreciate Robert for being here through the whole live stream, adding to the comments. That definitely is, you know, the number one thing about live streams is having people comment in the live chat. So having someone comment in the live chat means so much to me. It's I truly appreciate you just being here in the live stream and enjoying the interaction and having some back and forth. It's been a lot of fun. In the summer, you need to water the garden. It gets bone dry. Yeah, well, oh yeah. So I think, yeah, you're in Victoria, right? So like same as in Vancouver, or most places in the summer, people think of like the lower mainland, BC, and the island as like this rainforest where it just rains all the time, and it just doesn't. It just does not rain all the time there. It's like you need, it's not what people think. It's not what people think. I was actually watching. So there's a few other YouTube channels that I watch on the regular, and there's this one girl from the Netherlands, and it's a reaction channel. I quite like her. She's a younger girl. I don't even know how old she is. I'm guessing she's in her early to mid 20s, 22, 24. And she does a lot of reactions to videos about Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And so obviously I comment quite a bit on the Canadian videos because I've been almost everywhere in Canada. And the video she was watching today commented about how much rain there was all the time in Vancouver. And basically I just reiterated what I just said here 2 minutes ago. Was like, no, it does not rain all the time there. It's just like it's it's yes, it's a rainforest, but it does not rain there nearly as much as you may think. Right? Like it's just okay, Robert. Love having you here, Robert. Thank you so much for all the comments in the chat. It truly does add so much to the live stream. It is what makes a live stream happen, all the comments in the chat. So for 30 days each year, Victoria is the driest city in Canada. Oh, really? Really? I would have never guessed that. I would have guessed somewhere like Winnipeg or Saskatoon, Regina, like Calgary, Edmonton. Who like I basically would have guessed almost any other city than Victoria. For 30 days each year, Victoria is the driest city in Canada. Like I would have like London, Ontario, Halifax. Well, maybe not Halifax, but Quebec City, Montreal, Ottawa. Like I would have guessed literally any other country not country, any other city in Canada other than Victoria. That's a very, 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 very interesting fact. I would have never, ever, ever in 1,000 years guessed that or known that. North Van is double what Victoria gets. North Van is double what Victoria gets in rain. In rain. North Van, North Vancouver is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It is so North Van too is a little bit weird because again, the majority of people, if anyone is watching this from anywhere else in the world, they are going to know the difference between Vancouver and North Vancouver, or even South Vancouver, or Burnaby, Surrey, Richmond, or any of the surrounding suburbs. But I've spent enough time there. Well, I lived in Vancouver for 15 years, so I'm quite well versed in the areas. North Van is double what Victoria gets. North Van is double what Victoria gets. That's interesting. And then you say July 15th to August 15th. Oh, that's the 30 days. The 30 days that Victoria is the driest city. Actually, that's believable. That's believable because again, I have not spent nearly as much time in Victoria as I have in Vancouver. But like I said, Vancouver weather is 110% perfect from May to October. Just perfect weather. Perfect, perfect, perfect weather. It does not get better than that on average. And less than half an inch of rain. Half an inch of rain, probably in that 30 days, right? I think that's what you're trying to say, from July 15th to August 15th. Which honestly, I'm surprised it would even be that much. Like in Vancouver, I don't think you would even. I spent 15 years in Vancouver. I could probably, in those 30 days from July 15th to August 15th, I could count the amount of raindrops on one hand. Like raindrops. I'm not talking about rain. I'm talking about raindrops. I could probably count in 15 years in that time period from mid-July to mid-August. Yeah, there's about 5 raindrops, if that. Like honestly, even those 5 seem like on the high end. Okay, we're almost done this beer, which means we're almost done this live stream. So let's keep commenting, guys. It's a fact, not a narrative. I'm not sure what we're talking about right now, but I believe you. Samsu. Okay, now we're speaking. I am trying to improve my Mandarin. Samsu. Samsu. I don't know what that means in Mandarin, but I'm 100% sure it means something. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask one of my Mandarin speaking friends, what does Samsu mean in Mandarin? Some summers it's 0 rain. Yeah, that is 110% believable. That is 110% believable. it's so funny too, right? Like before I moved to Vancouver, like back in the 90s, I w and back then we did not have like weather apps, but we had the weather channel. So you would watch the weather channel on TV and be like, "Oh, it's raining." And you would think, "Oh, that means it's like raining all day," because you didn't know. You didn't know the context of it until you actually got there. And it was so funny when I actually figured it out. It's like, okay, well, yes, it rained. It rained for 3 hours between 5 AM and then the sun came out and it was sunny all day. It's next one, it means I have fat thumbs. Samsu. Samsu. No, I'm okay. I don't know if you follow me on X. I hope you do. I'm gonna ask my Mandarin and Cantonese speaking friends, and I will get a translation for you, and we will find out what "samsu" means. Because that's not that sounds Chinese, right? "Samsu." We have there. It must mean something in Chinese, whether it's Mandarin, Cantonese, or any other dialect from around any of the provinces. It's got to mean something. I have no idea what. Samsu. Oh, it definitely. Come on, guys. Like, I'm just a retarded white guy at this point going, Samsu means something in Asian. Samsu. I, I, if I had the wherewithal right now, I could put that into AI and be like, please translate from Mandarin into English. Samsu. Maybe next time. We'll see what Samsu means. Samsu. It's honestly that even sounds natural. Doesn't that not sound like again, if you're in BC, that means there's Asian people around you somewhere close by. There are Asian people, whether they speak Mandarin, Cantonese, Korean, Japanese, whatever. But Samsu sounds very Mandarin to me. Samsu, Samsu. Okay, guys, I'm kind of curious. What do you think that could mean? What could that mean in Mandarin? It does sound more Mandarin than Japanese or Korean. It could be Cantonese, but honestly, I think Mandarin, right? Samsu. Yeah, maybe Cantonese. Samsu. 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 I think, yeah, it definitely does not sound Japanese or Korean. Or like any of the other Southeast Asian languages like um, Thai or Indo or Filipino. But Samsu definitely sounds Mandarin and or Cantonese. I think that could be either Cantonese or Mandarin. Samsu. I think that's pretty funny. Just shout out Robert. It just means I have fat thumbs, but now I'm taking it to a whole other level of like Samsu. What does Samsu mean? What does it mean in Mandarin? What does it mean in Mandarin or Cantonese? Someone, there's going to be someone in the comments who's going to like 5 years from now just randomly click on this and trying to learn English and going to be like, Samsu, that means that means like beef steak or who knows what. Okay, guys, I'm about to take the last sip of the this beer. Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Robert. Small keypad makes fat makes for fat thumbs. Some Sue. Okay, before I end this, I'm gonna go. Just give me just let's see if I can do this here. Some Sue, please translate. I don't know. What is Grok gonna give me? What is Grok gonna give me? Anything? Searching the web, 29 results. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay. Okay, give me a second. 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 Share screen. Share screen, Grok. Okay, you guys can see this? Yes. Okay, 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 okay. I got to get back to, okay. Samsu looks like internet slang or texting shorthand. In many contexts, especially on Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, or casual chats, Sue or S \u means shut up, often playfully or teasingly, like OMG SU. Okay, but no, they didn't give me a. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I want a Mandarin. I want a Mandarin. I want a Mandarin translation. A Mandarin translation, please. Do y'all say please and thank you to AI? Because, yeah, I do. A Mandarin translation, please. Oh, okay. That's a lot of Chinese characters. Bai Shou Li, Xiao Fei Hu, and Zheng. Swipe up. It still seems to be shut up. Shut up. Guys, are you seeing this? Guys, are you seeing this? This is crazy. This is so Pinyin. I don't know if you're familiar with Pinyin, but it's basically a romanized version of Chinese characters. So right there, Bai Shao Li, Xiao Fei Hu, Yang Jing, Zhu. Okay, I think this is going to be too difficult right now for AI. Not for AI, for me with AI. Bai Shao Li, Xiao Fei Hu, Yang Jin. Yeah, crazy. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Stop sharing. Guys. Okay, guys. That's where we're at. We are going to end the live stream. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you so much for Robert Dixon 2393. All the comments. Like I said, when you do a live stream, having people just interact with you is the number one most important thing in a live stream. So thank you so much to Robert Dixon 2393 for all the comments and keeping the live stream going. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. We will see in the next one. like off the top when I was saying about whether YouTube pays for the live stream or if after the live stream gets some clicks, does that still count as a live stream or does it count as a video? I have no idea. Good night, Robert. Thank you so much for, I said, thank you so much for all the comments and joining us here in this live stream. It's been a blast.